Let's get started. Hello, my name is Dana, and I am delighted to be here leading this Spring Renewal Zoom. About 4 years ago, I had started my own coaching business. Just a little bit about me. And it was a health coaching business. I'd been in the healthcare industry for almost 30 years at that point, as an exercise physiologist and a yoga instructor. And I was seeing women one-on-one and noticing the level of nourishment that I was witnessing, that there was this theme, other than the fact we're always taking care of everyone else. And there was this sense of being undernourished from all kinds of, from physical support, from food, from the capacity to relax and renew oneself from a nervous system standpoint. And someone that I knew in a coaching program at the time, a different coaching program, a personal friend, said, do you know about this company? And I was like, no, I haven't heard of them. I personally, my daughter at the time was about 12, 11, 12. It was just right around the big change that we were all going through, witnessing in our society. She was home a lot. And I was personally noticing how my own system felt pretty unnourished. And so I started to investigate a little bit. What are you talking about? And I was really surprised at how many boxes, how many of my own values this opportunity checked off for me. How many boxes? And I'm going to go into that in a minute. But my own skepticism was piqued. My interest was definitely piqued. And so as I started doing a little more research, it's like, well, maybe I'll give these a try in my own system and see how it goes. And so I did. And I was amazed. So I had been part of a community-supported agriculture farm, had eaten locally. It's a biodynamic CSA. So they plant and harvest from the stars. And I felt like, being in the health industry, in the health and wellness world, I had done everything right. I had done multiple cleanses as a yoga instructor. I had, in fact, led some of my customers and clients in cleanses at the time. And what I experienced when I personally tried it was a sense of thirst. Like, that's the best way I can describe it, is that when I would consume these products, I felt thirsty for more. It's as if my body knew exactly how to absorb them, and I noticed that I started to feel more vital, more vibrant. My joint pain that I had been experiencing, I just celebrated my 54th birthday. And so when my daughter was in her early teens, I noticed that I had slowed down. I wasn't hiking as much, I wasn't biking as much, because when I did, my joints spoke to me. And in some cases, my knees, my low back, and not to a great degree, but it had slowed me down. So I started to feel like that whatever was causing that, and I can reflect a bit about why that was happening, but what was causing that started to clear up. I felt like when I would get on my bike, I could really keep up with my husband, and in fact, I could, surpass what he was doing, and he was like, "What is going on with you?" I just felt so good. I felt so lean, and So I started to use this online apothecary in my own coaching with other women. So I started to incorporate it slowly and use it, continue to use it, and then my family started to use it. And so, what I would love to share today is just a little bit about what makes this so different, a little bit about the why a spring renewal is so exciting. You know, the birds are starting to chirp, the sun feels higher and hotter, and we're starting to awaken. And that is a fantastic time to start to gently detoxify the system, the lymphatic system, the liver. And so it's a time for us to come alive as well. And so I'm going to share my screen and go through a few slides about this opportunity. And if any questions come up, don't hesitate to put them in the chat, and I'd be happy to answer them when I'm done. So let's see. Let's go here. Okay, oops. All right, just thumbs up. Can everyone see my screen? Yeah, okay, great. So what is a whole life transformation? Well, in this case, I'm going to be going over the health part of this, the vitality part of this, and then I'm also going to be sharing a bit about a business opportunity if that interests you. And so this is, you heard a little bit about my journey. I was teaching Kundalini yoga back when I was introduced to these products. That was kind of me on the left. I was wearing a turban all the time, and I would say that there was a sense of vibrancy and that was missing. And so you can see a bit of my journey over the past 4 years. And though this is my husband and my daughter here to the right. So one of the concerns out there is something called glyphosate. Just raise your hand, Patty, curious if you've heard of glyphosate. Yeah, you've heard of it. And so this is one thing that I was introduced to 4 years ago that I really knew nothing about. And so I include it here first because what you will find out about this opportunity is that it's not only an opportunity for us to clean our own body, but the efforts of the opportunity is helping to clean our entire planet body. That we're beginning to, by supporting this effort, we're actually beginning to raise education about an herbicide called glyphosate that is being heavily sprayed on our farmland and is more than likely present in most of the foods in our grocery stores at this time, even some organic products. And so this simple herbicide toxin is starting to really have an effect on all of us. It's been found in urine, in the umbilical cord of mamas. It's been found in our blood system, our blood. It's been found in a lot of different places. And so what this toxin and other toxins in our environment, we're dealing with more and more. You know, 100 years ago, the soil was much cleaner, the air was much cleaner, the water was much cleaner. And so our systems are needing to detoxify at a much greater rate. They're needing to clean themselves. And so if our detox pathways aren't open and ready to do that, then it is creating more dis-ease on the planet. And so not everyone is ready for a intense detoxification process, but most of us can do well by beginning to eliminate certain things from our diet that are creating acidity or sluggishness or slow liver, fatty liver, or um, inflammation in general. And so this is one piece of education that I have learned over the past 4 years, that it's having a great effect on our health. And it's really affecting a lot of different pieces of it. So this part of what we are here for is to share this 90-day superfood protocol that will gently detoxify glyphosate specifically and other toxins in our system, begin to clear up our lymphatic system, our blood, and create a more alkaline situation in our body, and also begin to reduce inflammation. So I wanted to share a little bit about each part of this protocol, and then there'll be plenty of time at the end. Before I do that, I do want to share a little bit about the quality of the products and the company specifically. The owners of the company, I'll just stop my share for a second. The owners of the company were part of lobbying the US government for, yes, Katrin's here, part of lobbying the US government to get the organic label in our food system. And that was in 1993 or even earlier. And so what started for them then was this process of working with regenerative farmers that were beyond the organic label. We're building their soils using, in some cases, animals and crop rotation and composting. And so they're building the depth of this soil that generates food that has the nutrient density that most of our soil doesn't because of other farming practices. So started to create relationships with these farmers so that they could grow food that was worthy of a bit more nutrient density, away from heavy metals, glyphosate, etc. And so in the process of developing the relationship with these farmers, the food is allowed to grow to its peak ripeness. It is then harvested and juiced within an hour right at the farm. And so in that process, the enzymes, the nutrient density is really kept inside, and then it's wind dried at a very low temperature. So this process is very different from other manufacturing processes in much of our, not only the food that is in our grocery stores, but other more supplementary foods that we bring into our diet. So this company is the grower, the manufacturer, and the distributor. So there's no one in between that, one, can jack up the price, two, can begin to play with the quality. So quality, pure and premium quality, is extremely important to this company, which is why I started to love it. And over the past 4 years, every time I learned something new about the owners, what their relationship with the farmers, their relationship to the earth, it continues to check off all the boxes for me in terms of my own values. So back to the products. If any questions out there, just feel free to speak up. Okay. So I'm going to put that image back up here. And so this 90-day protocol involves 5 very specific products to support one's health. And some of the goals are to affect sleep, to begin to work at the cellular level to affect cravings, absorption, inflammation, acidity in the body, and therefore oftentimes people will find a more healthy weight for them, whether that's gaining weight or losing weight. It may have an effect on joint pain and pain-free movement. It may have an effect on energy and certainly digestion. And when digestion is involved and cellular health is involved, then the lymphatic system can clear out, the cells can release toxins, they can absorb deep nutrition, and that is how, at a cellular level, we're detoxifying the body. So I'm going to just go through the products specifically. One of the main pieces are these nourishing shakes. So I am still blown away at the convenience of these. I love to just mix them with water and a spoon, and I'm ready to go. And they're very nourishing. You can certainly use them as meal replacements if you're on the go. They can also be supplemental to your meals depending on what your goals are. So these are the shakes that are wind dried at a very low temperature. The nutrient density is held right in it. Some of us experience when we drink it, my body wants another one right away. It's just, this is so good. I feel so good when I drink it. And so if any of you have had the experience of juicing, carrots, maybe celery, maybe greens of some sort, and maybe some of you have juiced like wheatgrass, and you have a sip, I think at least I feel, I can tell the vibrancy of the juice. There's something in it that I'm like, ooh, I feel like I'm clearer. And that's how I feel when I drink these shakes, even 4 years later. And so the shakes are, as I said, can be 2 meal replacements and or supplement your food intake depending on, as I said, what your goals are. Now, the Biomedic addresses the glyphosate issue. So Biomedic is the only thing on the market that I know of that has been certified to remove glyphosate. So it's been tested to the point where it's been certified by a third party called the Detox Project. You can look it up. It's out of an organization, a nonprofit out of the UK. It's called the Detox Project, and they have certified this specific product to clean up the gut microbiome by lifting toxins out of the gut wall and helping the body eliminate them. So this is a prebiotic, it's a probiotic, it can deeply detoxify so that any leaky gut or any damage to the gut wall can begin to repair itself. Then the super aminos are I call them protein, but they're already broken down to amino acids. So they are the most digestible protein that we could take in. It eliminates the need for the kidneys and the liver to break down the protein that you're eating so that it's absorbable into your muscles very quickly, within 23 minutes. So when you eat a chicken or something like that, some dense animal protein, the body, when it breaks it down, it creates catabolites. Think when it's broken down, the body has things that it doesn't need, and so it has to get rid of them. So in like a chicken, you might absorb 48% of the actual protein, the amino acids, whereas the rest is needed to be detoxed by the body. These are 99% net nitrogen utilized, which means that there's 1% catabolite. 1% of them needs to be detoxed by the body. So they are the cleanest, easiest form of protein to give the kidneys and liver a rest during this 90-day process to help them work on other things. So if we give the system a break, then it can begin to detoxify at a deeper level. Then moving along here to the apothecary, this is tart cherry juice concentrate, all organic, and if you know what the benefits, physical benefits of tart cherry juice are like, there's a long list. It's anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and it has naturally occurring melatonin. So with the healing of the gut and the adding in of these other things, then serotonin is produced in the gut, and melatonin is also produced at an opposite time of the clock. And so when this starts to rebalance, then we start to sleep deeper and we start to feel better mentally. And so that is part of what the apothecary does. It's very cleansing to the liver. And then the fifth product that supports, all of these work very synergistically. The fifth product is called the Super Cleansar, and it's a parasite cleanse. So it has all very familiar herbs in it that are known to be parasitic herbs, such as wormwood, I'm blanking, black walnut hull. There's some other really popular parasitic herbs in there as formulated, and you give the body a bit of a chance to detoxify at a basic level before you add this in, and then you add this in 10 days into your 90-day cleanse. You hit the parasites with it for 10 days, take a 20-day rest, and then hit them again for 10 days. And that's the way the parasite cleanse works. So I'm going to move, let me back up a little bit. I'm going to stop my share and see if there are any questions on those 5 products and what we're talking about around that. And I'll just pause. Mainly Patty, do you have any questions? No, okay. Oh, I see Katrin had to jump off. She poked her head in, waved, and off she went. So then I can go into, there is an opportunity with this. There's a business opportunity. I'm happy to go there. And so we'll go there quickly, and then we'll come back, and I'll open it up for questions again. Okay. So what I have found is that it's beautiful to do this 90-day in a group, a supportive community. That is one of the missions of this company, is to create community, to have an effect and a stewardship on the planet by partnering with regenerative farming, by educating people on not using their money on the products that are creating toxins in our environment. So there's that education piece in community. There's this vibrant health piece. This is an online apothecary of 65 products that support our health in a variety of ways. This 90-day protocol is really the start. It's just the beginning of detoxifying your body. And then, so the community health, the environment, and then there is an opportunity for economic empowerment to begin to share and support this mission at a deeper level. And so this is what we refer to as the wealth opportunity. So this business also can give you time and location freedom. There's no startup costs. You are in business for yourself, but not by yourself. There's a ton of personal development opportunity. So we like to say that this is a personal development opportunity with a compensation plan, and it is passive and leveraged income, meaning that when you get your business up and running, then it's possible that you are just supporting a system that generates passive income for you, that it requires very little time and energy once it's getting going. So with this opportunity, as I said, we have a chance to create stronger families and distribute wealth differently by supporting women or men or families to stay together, to stay home. This is really kind of out of the matrix. This is an opportunity to break the 9-to-5 paycheck paradigm. And so it supports a balanced ecosystem for our world and for the ecosystem that lives within us. So we're using this chance to change our own personal ecosystem from a cellular level and then have an effect on the overall ecosystem. Certainly using our dollars to vote with our values, vote for our values, using our dollars, participating in conscious commerce, and fostering community and accountability for all of our individual journeys in health, which are very unique. And the model really aligns with nature as our guide, as our source of intelligence on a very deep level. So I am again going to just stop my share and see if there are any questions out there. And I am happy to, actually, why don't I stop the recording before we go on. Thank you. So if you're catching this on the recording, give a shout out to the person who shared it with you, and they can answer any questions and get you started on your spring renewal, on your 90-day chance to really clear your system. There is no requirement to participate in the business. It is just a fun and amazing part of this. You can experience the 90-day process with us. We have at least one support call a week on a Thursday morning if you're a woman, and we would love to invite you to that community. I call it the Be Well Oasis, where we are literally supporting each other to stay on our own health and wellness journey, very, very unique to us. So thank you for catching the replay or for being here, and let us know if you have any questions.